Now, he's the,
that nice little bit of thing.
now here's the big one.
Now, Jim Ryan, fucking sit down.
Well, sit down and listen, Jim, because we've got
Sit down, Jim.
we've got
Yeah.
a story to tell you. Adkins has.
Here we go.
And
So,
forgive the pun, but you were buzzing for this PS5, weren't you?
I was buzzing, absolute buzzing.
You tell them the story. You've done all the research. You've got all the data you need. You
fucking
unlay to the Idle Game Chat fans, who 80% of them are residing in India, what has happened with your PS5 and why you've not got it with you as we speak.
No. So, if we listen back, what we should do is edit in my clip. A lot of edit work of my thing. When I was speaking about, we was nitpicking about trying to find things wrong with it, and I mentioned this thing. I think I'd already read this article about this thing called Coil Whine.
Yep.
I was like, right, that was in my mind. That's upset Rodney, and I thought, right, what's this? So the PS5, when it gets announced, and that the biggest problem was this PS4 Pro is like a fucking leaf blower. Everyone knows that. That's renowned. Jim Ryan knows that now. That's the thing. So when this PS5's come out, the biggest thing I wanted to know was, what does it sound like? And what we get is it's absolutely mute and silent. So what does fucking Divvy here do? Divvy starts sticking his head up against the console. What I noticed, and I said this last week, was there's this little buzz sound. And that little buzz sound is just what it is. It's just like it's this thing. I found it out now that it's called Coil Whine.
Definitely that.
Definitely that. I think, well, this is what my research seems to be, Coil Whine, and it's just the electricity going through the components, mainly the GPU, I think, and it's just sending the vibration of the electricity going through, and it sort of gives it a bit of feedback, and that little whine. So I noticed that mine did that when I stick my head up against it.
Yeah.
Then I noticed that it must have been, I was only playing at Astro at that time, so I must have noticed it then. Then we did that pod last week and was talking about it and was saying it's no issue, you know, you have to stick your head up against it, it's no problem. You know, I'm nitpicking, I can't hear it over my telly.
Yeah.
That's it, end of it. Thought that was it, nipped in the bud. And then Rodney starts sitting again. Is it quieter than the telly? And I start focusing on it. I start playing games. Then I started playing Spider-Man in performance mode, and I'm hearing it rev up a bit. I can hear it getting louder. Oh, cool. Then I start thinking about it more. Start going online. The worst thing you can do. Start searching it
The
out.
well of poison.
The well of poison comes up. I go onto Twitter and type in Coil Whine. I see Andrew, I see fucking Tom, Dick and Harry going, my PS5's got Coil Whine. My PS5 sounds like a fucking pair of ear clippers, a tattoo gun. I was like, right. Then people say Demon Souls. I go and buy a Demon Souls. I pop that in.
Went home to get it.
When I'm to get it, I hear this buzz. I'm muting the telly, I'm trying a thing, and it just, I was so thick. Literally for the whole of last week, from Monday to Friday, I must have spent hours just putting games in, turning the telly on mute, listening to it, seeing how loud I could hear it, doing every little test under the sun.
Yeah.
Then putting my telly up, moving my console to see which was different, and it just consumed me, this fucking, this Coil Whine gate. So much so that I had to start testing other consoles. I thought, is it mine? I mean, I'm seeing all these reports of people who've got it. Then I start telling my friends, yourself, members of the Dimp gang, I'm saying, can you hear it on yours? And then the testing comes. The testing comes out. The curiosity gets the better of me. I have to try and come round to people's houses to listen to it. You know,
You got people sending you videos.
Sending videos. That was, I was getting videos like. Here's the crux of what I've researched. I think that all PS5s have this, but it's not an issue.
Right.
This is the thing. PlayStation apparently now. I called PlayStation.
Yeah.
At the end, like towards the middle of the week, and told them and said this.
So get Jim on the phone. I want to chat with him.
On the phone.
And then whilst you're there, get fucking Cerny on hold as well. I want to have a chat with him. He's built this fucker.
A chat with him. Hour and 10 minutes it took me to get through to Sony. But which I was livid. I thought, fucking hell, they don't
Only
take
a fiver a minute.
£5 a minute, that dreaded phone bill. I get through. There's a lovely lady from Scotland. I don't normally like the Scottish, but no, I'm joking, they're lovely people. But no, she was a very helpful lady. Explained the situation to her. I said, look, I play a couple of games. I sound like I'm fucking giving myself a tattoo or something here. There's this buzzing on. I said, I've looked online. I said, this is Coil Whine. She went, no, it's not that. And I was like, right, well, what is it then? She went, well, it's for the text to decide, isn't it? So she was very, very sort of dismissive of it, but just said, look, yeah, right, if you're not happy, send it to us. We've got loads of replacements.
Right.
We'll try and get one back to you before Christmas. 14 days, I'll give you. So I said, right, okay. So I get that booked in. I think, right, that's it. Then fucking Rodney starts playing up again. He goes, is it that bad, though, for you to send it off? And this is where now I'm sitting there thinking, have I just fixated on this too much? This is where the research was coming. And then this is where I'm getting the video. I'm getting everybody's videos.
SoundCloud. I mean, how many people did you, 6?
7.
7?
7 videos.
Does that include you?
That's include me, yeah. Personal videos being sent.
Yeah.
And all 7 have this buzz in some capacity.
Yeah.
And all of them, like they say, and I will admit, it doesn't overpower the telly. Well, actually, I'll tell you, mine did. Mine did overpower the telly.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I reckon it's when you start hearing it that you start fixating on it. There are probably so many people who wouldn't even know about this, but now you've heard me talk about this. If you pop your head, put a game on, go straight into gameplay, and it seems to be the harder it's pushing the game, the higher this little buzz is getting. Now, this buzz, it's like I say, I think mine is a defect, and I'll be interested to see if it is once we get there back. But after I've done this research, I then went back and finished off Miles. And for that evening, I had my TV on a more normal sort of level. There was ambient noise going on in the house and whatnot. And I've got to say, it didn't bother me at all. It was my telly overpowered, and it wasn't a problem. And that's when I was like, right, should I send this off, or is it just me being a fucking prat, or is it wrong? So. In the end, it just got to me. I was like, curiosity's got the better of me. And I was like, I just want to know and see if a PS5 can be completely silent.
That Xbox is completely silent.
Because that was the biggest thing, yeah. It's so hard to explain this and not sound like a sort of fanboy. But when I pip it up against the Xbox Series X, I played Assassin's Creed, which, again, is running at 60. Yeah. All right, maybe it doesn't look as good as Spider-Man, but...
It's pushing the hardware reasonably.
It's pushing the hardware. It's got it, and there is not a fucking whistle coming out of that PS5, Xbox Series X. There is no electrical noise. Even if you shove your ear up against the disc tray, which I am having to do to listen to this buzz. And so when I'm comparing, and then that's making me think, well, it shouldn't be like this, but. Yeah, this has come down to the crux. I think all of it. I thought it was the disk drive. Yeah. And then I've 2 videos from digital users who both got the same sort of noise. And again, I'm not saying that every PS5 is a defect. I think, like I say, this is a normal thing that happens, particularly with high-end graphics cards. Apparently, I've heard that is a thing, and it's not considered a defect. Apparently, a lot of the companies. I see a report from a chap on Twitter who said that he called up to complain about his Coil Whine and said, "Look, I've got this Coil Whine," and they were like, "Well, it's not a problem, so we're not
on your bike."
On your bike. So I think I've been lucky, been able to get replacement, because I think they may be starting to turn. I don't know if that guy was from America or not.
Yeah.
So it's different region, but he was turned away. He said, no, if you want a replacement, you have to go to the retailer. It's not considered a problem. So
Whereas the retailer has no stock, and then
exactly,
you won't get it. Yeah, it's definitely, like when I did my research for you, there's definitely a buzz coming at the back of it. I've not noticed it during gameplay, but if you put your phone there or your ear there, and the fact that we've had 7 people do it and the buzz is there, either there's like just a poisonous shipment in Essex that's gone round that all have buzz capacity, or most, if not all, have some level of noise. And
if you're listening to this and you have got a PS5, could you? I'm not trying to ruin your experience. It sounds like I am, but please, go and play a PS5 game and put your ear to the disc tray or where the disc tray would be, or back of the vents or whatever, and just listen. And if it's completely silent, you're not talking bollocks, let me know, because I've searched hard. I've listened to every YouTube video, every Twitter. I'm on there every day looking at Coil Whine posts, people posting videos. I have not heard a whisper silent PS5 yet. Every single video I've heard has this buzz. And like I say, it's going to be amplified when you're sticking your phone in the fucking disc tray slot and recording it. It's going to be amplified. It's electricity in it. You're going to hear it. And like I say, it doesn't overpower the telly. Well, it did in my circumstance. That's why I've ended up sending it back. But that was more. The next day, I tried Demon Souls, which is really drawing power. That sounded louder. It's quite a quiet game. That's what I found as well.
Right,
Miles, you've got fucking music going on in the background.
Yeah, you got Genki fucking calling up, going, hey. And you're like,
that's it. Brother. Demon Souls, it was an atmospheric game where it's very quiet. You can just hear your own footsteps, and I could just hear the humming in the background, and I was like, right, I shouldn't be hearing that. Then you text me and told me, try Borderlands. That's got a 120 patch.
Yeah.
I fucking put that on. That thing sounded like a tattoo gun to me, and I was like, that can't be can't be satisfactory. So
it's a strange one, because when you first mentioned it, like, I reckon out of the 6 others that you asked, I think 3 or 4 of us all said, nah, it's whisper silent, can't hear anything. And so we all just like, I was like, what's he mad? We must have a fucked one, which is unfortunate. But when you actually like put your head by the back of it, which is ludicrous, there is a buzz. Like, there is there. So I think a lot of people, when they say it's silent, it isn't, because if you put your ear to the back of it, you can hear the buzz. And I think most people just don't do that because it's not audible in like normal circumstances. So I can understand when people say theirs is silent, they can't hear anything. But I would bet, not bet actually, I wouldn't bet, but I'd be surprised if there was many out there that didn't have some level of buzz. And poor old Clarky was like, no, I ain't got any, mine's all right. And then you bloody talked him into getting right up it, and he could hear it, and it's upset him. So
upset him, he got a text later saying, I'm thinking about it now. And that's what I think a lot of it is. It's when you know it's there, that's when it starts haunting you, and you're like, right. Now, then I start listening out for it. That's the trouble. And that's what I think, that's the crux of this research, is that everyone starts off like that. No, it's whisper silent. And I say, go and listen to it, Grid. They do that and they go, oh no, there is a buzz. And then they start noticing and think, oh. And that's what I think I did. But it is. I've seen people reports of it, of the noise increasing when the game starts and then it shuts off. And there's videos where mine didn't sound like nothing compared to mine. There's ones that are like real loud, and I think, oh, maybe mine's all right. So I feel like I think the crux is that they all have it. You're not going to hear it if you're sort of normal distance away and you've got your telly on. It's only if you're muting the telly. That's it. So there's nothing to be worried about. It's just that I found mine to be louder than others. So if you're finding it's overpowering the telly, then maybe you might want to look into
getting on the blower,
speaking to Sony or getting it replaced. But it's like speaking to the woman as well, talking about it. She said, like I said, oh, you must have had quite a few phone calls about it. She said, yeah, we've had a few, but she said in like the grand scheme of things, it probably amounts to about 2% of the consoles. I was like, sure. So like I say, it's not. That's why no one's reporting it yet. There's a Sony magazine or website, I think, called Push Square, which is probably the biggest one, that they've stuck a few articles out about European consumers and that, and people talking about, they keep putting polls out to see how much. There was a poll of about 3,000 people, and that was over 50% of users that had it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it's not a huge, they're selling like fucking what? I think they've already sold about 3 million consoles already.
Something silly, yeah.
It's silly.
They're all gone.
They're all gone and gone. So it's not, when you're talking about a couple of thousand maybe that have got it, it's not a widespread problem. But yeah, and that was it. Curiosity got the better of me, and I shipped it off last Friday. So there will be an update in due course. Hoping to get it back before Christmas. And we will give you the result. I'm expecting, like I say, to get it back and still have the buzz, but as long as it's not overpowering the telly, then we should be fine.
Yep.
If it is, I think I might even look into sending it back and waiting for a revised thing. So I think this is, if it is the norm, then I don't think that's good enough, to be honest. But it doesn't seem that way. There's not enough people. I think if it was a problem, it would be a bigger problem. It would be more widespread, and the likes of fucking IGN would be all over it.
Yeah.
It definitely seems contained and small, and it's very much sort of a Twitter thing.
It's weird that there's like 7 out of 7. Like, it's anecdotal, small, tiny sample, but you'd expect one of those to not have it. But yeah, like if it starts, that's the thing. If you can hear it over normal kind of sounds of the game, then that's when it becomes an issue. I mean, we have to say it is an upgrade on that fucking leaf blower of the PS4 Pro. There is, I think what's happened is, part of it is that because the thing's so fucking big, there was a lot of speculation from journalists and techies saying, oh, they're doing that because they want it to be silent. So as far as I know, Sony never said it's going to be silent. No one ever does. But the general kind of narrative was that, oh, it's so big so that it's not got an overpowering fan noise and all that good stuff. So now that when people have got it and they're really trying to listen for it and find whether it is truly silent, it's not coming back, completely silent, then it's causing and setting off these breakdowns in mentality where we have to be going off putting recording devices behind it. I think part of it is that it was the one of the big stories of the PS4 Pro was the noise of it. Therefore, this was so big and ugly because it was going to be silent. And the fan, to be honest, you can't barely hear it. There's a tiny bit of like hum or like a little bit of like fan noise, but really minute. But there is this buzzing lurking once you get your head down there. So I think it's upset a few of the apple carts, and it'd be interesting to see what happens with your one, whether it comes back and it's the same or worse or better. So we'll definitely update when that arrives.
But please don't let it spoil your experience with it. Like I say, you ain't, unless you're listening to it. For the majority of you ain't even going to hear it unless you get your fucking head down there, or you've got it like Adcock and fucking shove it in a cupboard.
Yeah, he shut it inside a cabinet and then said it was going mental in there, and I was like, that is not good for it. Don't do that. Like, give it some room. So he's cooked his potentially.
This is dead. But again, I'd just be interested, just if you do have a PS5, just give it a little listen, and just comment on Twitter or whatever, or on this YouTube or any of these podcast things. Just a little comment, just to say, slight buzz, but obviously no, I can't hear it when the telly's on, and it's not a problem for me. But just to know, or if you have got the golden ticket and go, mate, it's silent.
Yeah,
it's utterly silent. Then, well, we know you're lying. So no, but yeah, this is more of like a sort of research thing. This is why I was, like I said, after playing Miles, it didn't bother me, and I was like, well, I can deal with that. If it's like this the whole time, that's fine. I haven't heard it. And then I was in two minds of sending it. I was thinking, fucking hell, I'm gonna have to wait 2 weeks. It's gonna get mixed up in the thing.
Yeah.
But more than anything now, I just want to know. So I've sort of done this for research just to find out.
It'd be very interesting to see what comes back, for sure.
But yeah, do get in contact if you've experienced it or thought it yourself and been part of Twitter fucking Coil Whine Gate. Get involved. Get at me on Twitter.
There you go. Get at him. And also, like, it's better than leaf blower. We can all agree to that. And at the moment, touch wood, and again, them gaming gods are listening, so I best not get too overzealous. But we aren't at the moment on either console side looking at a Red Ring of Death type incident.
No,
so that is good news so far. That what we will say though is that Series X is a fantastic piece of engineering. They've really
that does seem. What makes me wonder is if this the way it's because it's early days. You know, we're getting crashes left, right, and centre. There's patches coming here and there.
Yeah.
There may even be patch that will come. People like the full. I'd love to hear from like a proper sort of tech head that knows about all this sort of stuff. You know, someone with like computer science degree or something. So, and explaining because it sounds like what this Coil Whine starts from when it's drawing more power. So even if they patch something where they can make the PlayStation not draw enough power, then it increase this sound completely.
I've seen some. I think you may have shared it, like some Twitter folk that have said after the most recent system update, it lowered the intensity of the buzz. So who knows? I mean, it's a bit of a mystery.
Who knows? Well, exactly. In a couple of weeks' time, this could be dead and gone, and I'd have gone, fucking hell, I didn't even need to send it off. The patch has sorted it.
Well, you get a nice fresh one at least.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, to be intrigued to see. But I'll tell you one thing I did realise. There was this new report that now with your PS5 trophies, you get voice clips. It records your voice when doing it.
Yeah.
I did think now I've sent mine off, they'll all be gone now, so I won't have... But then they're only trophies for a mile, so I don't think I'll be going yes in the background.
Oh yeah, no.
Like I would with Demon Souls. That'd be some good audio experiences. But I thought that's in the bin. But
there you go.
Yeah,
Buzzgate 2020.
Okay, it's been a horrid week after the buzz and excitement from day one. Got a couple of days out of it, and I've got to say this last week has been fucking aggravating for me and my peers. You know, everyone's been livid with me. Keep wanging on. I was getting people to record videos every day, multiple times, ruining their experiences. Biff was frightened to get a video. He didn't want to. He kept calling me OCD boy. And
yeah, he didn't like it, did he?
He was scared. So
he was one of the ones that went from saying no, it's whisper science to saying, oh no, there is. But I don't know what the expectation is like with electronics, because like I mentioned to you, and we were speaking about it, like my PC is a constant kind of hum, like low hum. I'll just accept that as part of it. But
that's what I think it is. I think the trouble is with mine as well is I even got the fucking tape measure. This is how in depth my research was going. I sit exactly 6 foot away from the console and my TV, so there's only 6 foot. Now I looked on a LG OLED experience website, and it said optimal sitting distance should be 9 foot.
Fuck that. I want me to see what's going on.
Exactly, a 55. Oh, piss poor eyes. But that's the thing. So if they're saying you're supposed to be sitting 9 foot away, that's the thing as well. If you're sitting further away, this little buzz is getting less and less. So it might be my predicament. The setup I had it on is probably vibrations going through the wood. Who knows? It could be any little fucking amalgamation or whatever, anything like this. But this is just my experience, and I thought I'd share it. But keep your ears and eyes out. And that is Coil Whine Gate 2020.
We'll see. We'll have an update as and when we get it, and be interested to see if this takes on a life of its own, whether it does it just sort of falls away as more people get them. But that's the PS5 buzz that's been going on.
If anything, it's been making some good entertaining videos. I've done a little video you can watch on our Twitter feed. Yeah. Me packing away the PS5 to some somber music. It's been entertaining, but hell of a week for a PS5. I've got people messaging me yesterday saying, "What would you prefer? What should I get? The PS5 or the Xbox?" And I'm going, "Well, the PS5's gone back, mate." So not to recommend it. Nah, this is the trouble. Like, and especially out of the two, like I love both of the systems, but I was just so excited by PS5 because it felt so new and everything. And to have that, the sort of the first 3 days of the buzz and the gameplay and Astro Bot, Miles and the new UI, getting that excitement, and then to have this, like someone come along and take it all away from
Crapped on everyone.
Crapped on everyone and disheartened it. Like I say, I just don't want it to leak onto anyone else. And I'm sure I'll get it back and I'll be happy enough with it, and long may it remain, continue for another 7 years. Or I think, fucking hell, I'm going to wait for a slim or
Well, if it comes back and it is completely silent, then I'll be getting on the blower to them next year, saying, "Hang on a minute, I want the silent one." So it'd be interesting to see what comes back. If it's the same or a slightly lower buzz, then most people can rest easy. It's just one of those things, and in normal circumstances, you shouldn't notice. If you do start noticing it over your sound, then perhaps get on the phone to Sony and say, "Oh, wait, I don't be liking this," but we'll have an update for you in due course as and when we get it.